won. Oh my god, I won the Triwizard Tournament. I've never won anything in my life. Oh my god, this is like the best day of my life. Let's see. I'd like to thank my friends and family for always being there for me. Next, I just want to thank anyone who's ever supported me in my dreams and like... What? What do you mean I didn't win? If I didn't win, then why was I given the Triwizard Cup? Oh, I'm presenting it to the winner. Got it. But I mean, can't I just keep it? Like, it's really pretty and it would look great on my bookshelf. And I mean, like, does Harry Potter really need another trophy? Come on, am I right? Okay, God, you can have it back. Hey guys, I'm Jade and this is my channel Ratherbejaded, and if it wasn't obvious from that little intro, I'm going to be doing my review and discussion on Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire today. So I had actually been meaning to do reviews for Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban, but I just did not have a chance to, and by the time I wanted to, I kind of like forgot a lot of it, other than it was really good. Obviously does not make a good video review. And so this time I actually took notes. Like you can see, I like put some post-it notes, and I just finished reading this last night. So while it's still fresh in my mind, I'm doing this review. And I know there are like 1,000,001 reviews of Harry Potter on the internet, but I do think my perspective is a little unique, though I'm sure other people have done this before. But it's like, for me at least, like I had never really read the books, and so all my knowledge of the Harry Potter series is from the movies. So when I go into the books, I go into it with the knowledge of what happened in the movie and know most of what's gonna happen and stuff. So mainly, like, I'm just getting a lot more detail and stuff that the movie missed, which with this one, there was a lot. Now, I totally understand why my friends who'd read the books were like, oh, that movie was like not a good adaptation, because there is like a lot of stuff missing. And so as much as I like don't really want to do, well, this is what it was in the book and wasn't in the movie, like that's kind of mainly the things that I notice while reading. So that's what a lot of my discussion is going to be about, while I'll still be like going over the gist of it and stuff. So Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is the 4th book of this series, and it's Harry Potter's 4th year at Hogwarts. So the book starts off with Harry having this dream of being in this house, and there's this gardener who is listening in on what seems to be Voldemort and Wormtail, and Voldemort's talking about how they need to get to Harry Potter, how they killed Bertha Jorkins and got this useful information now, all this stuff about not good things coming Harry's way. And the Snake Nagini lets them know that there's this guy outside, and they kill him, and Harry wakes up and his scar is really hurting him. And he's not really sure like what's going on, like if it's just a dream or if Voldemort's around or whatnot. So he kind of is going back to school with some apprehension. And then a lot of people have been telling them exciting things are coming to Hogwarts this year. Like, it's gonna be an exciting year. Man, I wish I could be back at Hogwarts this year. And like Ron, Harry, and Hermione are all like, what is it? What is it? Like, tell us. And they're like, you'll know soon enough, kids. And it ends up being that it's the Triwizard Tournament, and it's a tournament that hasn't happened for quite a while, but they're bringing it back. And so it's a tournament between 3 different schools, Hogwarts being one of them, and it's taking place at Hogwarts this year. And so it's one champion from each school, and they compete in 3 different trials, and whoever has like the most points after the end of the 3 trials is the winner. So there's an age restriction that you have to be 17 or older to put your name in the cup, because it is a very dangerous games and people have died in it. And so they made this new rule to protect the students. And Harry kind of wants to enter. He's like, wow, that'd be like so awesome to win this, but at the same time he's kind of like, I don't know. But he's 14, so obviously he can't enter. And when the Goblet of Fire goes to give off the names, it gives off 3 names, and then who else's name comes spitting out of the flames? None other than Harry Potter's, of course. And he didn't put his name in the cup, and they have no clue who put his name in the cup, but he has to compete now because those are the rules. So it's a really action-packed year at Hogwarts for them, and I really love this book. This was definitely my favorite out of all the Harry Potter books I've read so far. And I know I had said that I was intimidated because this book is like 730 pages, but honestly, I read it so quickly. Like, I mainly read it in 2 sittings. It was just so good. Like, I didn't want to put it down. I loved it so much. So now I am going to be talking to more detail, and so I really shouldn't have to say this, but just in case, because I hate being spoiled, if you are not one of like the 99% of people who have read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and you don't want to be spoiled on like specifics of it and you haven't seen the movie or something, I don't know, just stop here now. Just stop the video now, and then you can come back after you've read the book so you won't be spoiled, because I hate spoiling things for people. Though if you've seen the movie, you basically know like all the major plot lines. But if there's like details you want to find out yourself by reading, which I would highly encourage, come back after you've read the book and we can talk about it, because we're the noobs who never read Harry Potter. The Goblet of Fire had always been one of my favorite movies, though now after watching it again, I'm like, they missed a lot. Like, a lot of my favorite stuff wasn't in the movie, and I was so sad about that. Like, I always love Harry's interactions with the Dursleys. It's so funny, and the one in this book was just great. Like, I love how Harry is so good at like manipulating them and doing reverse psychology on them. And then the Weasleys come to get him, and they come in through Floo powder in the fireplace, and it's like boarded up, and they're all freaking out. It was just really funny, and I really liked it. It was just such a good opening, and so I was pretty sad that that wasn't in the movie, because I was just literally laughing out loud at that. Really loved all about like Fred and George trying to get their joke shop going. Like, I know, I can't remember in which movie it comes up, but I do know at some point in the movies their joke shop comes about. But I like how in this book you kind of get to see like the starting of it, of them trying to get it going and creating and stuff, and I thought that was really missing from the movies, because it gave a lot of like laughter to the book that wasn't in the movie. And so I really enjoyed like that whole aspect with them trying to like get the money for this and trying to invent. And then of course the Quidditch World Cup was pretty cool. I loved reading about it, and then we got introduced to a character I love so much, and one of my favorite parts was Winky. Just like from the minute Jake came on, and she's just like with the little tea towel over her head, is like, I'm afraid of heights, no, I want to be here, and then I think she did the dark mark, and then she gets like fired, though I guess you can't really fire someone who's not getting paid, and she's all like upset about it and everything, even though it is her freedom, and just like that whole plot line throughout the book. And Dobby, I love Dobby so much. Why was he not in the movie? Like, he was so great. Dobby has ended up getting a job at Hogwarts, and I just love the scenes when they were in the kitchen with Dobby and Winky, and Dobby being all like, yes, freedom's awesome, you know, it was so hard for me to find a job. I looked for 2 years, but you know, no one wants to hire a house elf who's asking for money, but I came here with Winky, who is free too. She's a free elf. And Winky's like, I'm a free elf, like, I don't want to be free. And you're like, what? Hermione finds out that they're house elves at Hogwarts, and she's like all up in arms about this, because she's like, they're not getting paid, they're gonna get sick time, what is this? And so she starts this club to like rally around and like get the house elves like labor laws and stuff so they get paid and sick leave, and like everyone's like, but Hermione, they enjoy doing this, like they don't want to be out of work, and all the house elves are like, no, we could never accept pay. Like Winky's like, I might be a free elf, but I would never stoop as low as Dobby could ask for pay, because Dobby is now like super excited because he's getting paid. I just love Dobby. God, I'm trying so hard not to just be like, well, this was in the book that wasn't in the movie that I liked. But again, like those are the main things I noticed. Was stuff I was like, oh wow, this is new, like I don't remember reading about this. The first tournament was, actually that's one of the things where it seemed a lot more like action-packed in the movie. Ludo Bagman, where was he in the movie? Like his character just like, no, we're just not gonna include him. I mean, he wasn't like the biggest character, but he was like pretty funny. Like he was like giving me like some laughs and stuff, and then being always like, you got it, Harry, like you need any tips? And Harry being like, I'm good, thanks, and why are you trying to give me tips? Like, and then later you find out it's because he was like betting on Harry because he has a horrible gambling problem and owed goblins money. That was really funny. Oh, I really liked how in the books, how Hermione and like Crumb's relationship went about. In the books, like it wasn't really obvious at first that like he was into her and she was into him, because at first she saw like, ugh, like, why are they into him? He's not even attractive looking. Like, I don't understand. But in the movie, it's a lot more obvious that they're kind of into each other. But in the book, I knew it was coming. For a minute, I was like, wait, it's like, like, did they like make that up in the movie? Because I didn't see it anywhere in the book. I was like, did they like add that in for the movie? But it ended up, it just wasn't as obvious, which I think was nice, because it'd just be like Hermione studying with Harry in the library, and she'd be like, oh, Crumb is here, like, he's here every day, God. And then she'd like leave, and then you find out he was always in the library because he was trying to work up the nerve to ask her to the Yule Ball. That was like one of the best parts, was like the reveal. Obviously I knew it was coming, but it was like, there's a pretty girl with Crumb that I've never seen before, and then like she walks by and it's like, oh my god, that's Hermione. And then Ron's like, oh my god, that's Hermione, and everyone's like, oh my god, that's Hermione. That's Hermione. And I really liked Hermione and Crumb's relationship throughout the rest of the book, and him being like really into her. It was really sweet to see. I'm like, oh, Hermione. This was the first book so far, at least, that I've noticed, like, even just the smidgenest thing of Hermione and Ron. Like, you could obviously tell that he was very jealous of Crumb, and he is starting to have feelings for her, though I think he's trying to keep it down. Though I wasn't really getting it back from Hermione. I'm really excited to see where their relationship goes and how their relationship progresses over the books. I know nothing happens to them until the last book, but I am curious to see like if you can tell that their feelings are like growing for each other and whatnot. And all the stuff about like Ron and Harry like overhearing Hagrid talk to Maxine, who's the headmistress of Bo Batten's academy. Hagrid telling her like, my mom was giant, my dad was normal, so that's why I'm this way, so whose parent are you from? And she gets all offended, like, ugh, I'm not a giant, like, I'm just big bone, and like kind of crushes Hagrid's heart. And Harry and Ron and them, they didn't know, and then it gets out because freaking Rita Skeeter. I really hate Rita Skeeter. She wasn't as bad in the movie, but in the book she's just so like, I really hated Rita Skeeter so much. So like when it comes out that Hagrid's like this half giant, poor Hagrid, like, you know, he's like holing up in his cabin and he's like wants to quit. I just thought that added like a really nice layer to Hagrid and just made his character so much deeper. And then the scene where Harry is on the stairs, and because he saw on the map Barty Crouch is in the office, and he's like, what is Barty Crouch doing in the office? So he goes to investigate and then gets stuck on the stair. I didn't piece it together till the end because I totally forgot that the name of the person impersonating Moody was Barty Crouch's son, so Barty Crouch Jr. So at the end of the book I was like, oh my god, that's like so smart, because I was like, why is Barty Crouch in his office? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then you realize it's because it was Barty Crouch Jr. and so it was Mad-Eye Moody, and you're like, oh man, like, oh, it was right there. It was right there. I loved Mad-Eye Moody. He was so funny. I loved his character in the movie, and I loved his character in the book. The whole backstory with Barty Crouch, I was really like sad that they didn't put that in the movie, because I think that was like a huge thing. And I really liked how in the book you're like, was this guy innocent? Was he not? Like, was he just in the wrong place at the wrong time? And he gets sent to Azkaban, and where everyone thinks that he died in Azkaban, and then later, oh, such like a good plot twist that he didn't die in Azkaban. So for the most part, the first Triwizard Tournament challenge was pretty truthful to how they did in the movie, but the second one was quite a bit different. I did kind of like elements of how they did in the movie a little better. Like, I kind of liked that the mermaids were a little bit more frightening. But yeah, I love all the tournaments. I think they're so cool. Though I think like in the book, the maze was a lot more creepy. Like, they ran into a lot more things. Though I did like in the movie how like the maze like bushes like can like come together and like form new paths and stuff. I thought that was really cool. I always love that in the movie, how like the maze just like kind of comes together and like then can trap you in it and stuff. And also in the book, I think it made a lot more sense at the end when they both touched the cup at the same time, because in the movie it was more like, oh, push, like who's gonna get there first, and then Harry's in the lead, and then Cedric gets hurt, and then Harry rescues him, and then Cedric's all like, no, you take it, and you're like, well, why is Harry like hesitating to take it? Because Cedric did get there after him, basically. And so it made more sense in the book how they did in the graveyard scene. Like, man, poor Cedric, poor our Pat. Reading about just gave like so much more detail, hearing about like why like he is taking Harry's blood, because now the protection that his mom had inadvertently giving him, Voldemort couldn't touch him. Now Voldemort can touch him, and that's why he like did that, and then when their wands connected, like really hearing about like why it is, because how their wands are, you know, from the same brethren. Man, this is where things really start happening in these books. And this was another small part that I did actually like how they did it better in the movie. I thought it was like really cool how in the movie they did it where, you know, they get back and everyone's cheering. They're like, yay, they're back, they won, yes, Cedric. And they don't really realize at first that something's wrong. The way they do in the movie is just so heartbreaking. And in the book, it's like a lot more chaotic and everyone's freaking out. And in the movie, everyone's just so silent while his dad's crying over him. And it was like, man, I really, really wanted to punch Cornelius Fudge in the freaking face, because like, how dense are you? Like, even Snape is like, do you see my mark? Like, look, it's back. Like, Voldemort is back. Like, look at it. And all this, like, and you know, this boy came up dead and all this other stuff. And he's like, he can't be back. Oh, no, we're not doing anything. And then Alice being like, you're such a fool. I didn't realize that Mrs. Weasley wasn't in this movie at all, and I really loved her in the book. Like, I've always loved Mrs. Weasley's character. She's just such this like sweet mom who really cares about everyone other than just her own kids and stuff. Like, she really is like a mom to Harry. And in this book, you really got to like see all of that, and it was just so sweet. So I really enjoyed seeing all this in the book of her really showing that she thinks of Harry as like a son to her, and I thought that was just beautiful. I had to almost forget this. Sirius. So they left out Dobby, Sirius. I'm like, what was that movie? What was that? I mean, I still enjoy it, but you know. But Sirius, he was a pretty big part of this book. Like, Harry was in constant communication with him. You could see that Sirius was really taking like his role as Godfather seriously. Like, he was so worried about Harry, and he knew something was coming. Like, another like just a little. That's the thing I love about books more than movies, is you just get all these like little things to just add like so many different layers, and there's so much more interesting in like giving all this like depth and stuff to the characters and the story. The other one thing I wanted to say, which is so like funny, because it's just like, wow. Voldemort mentions he could never touch him at the Dursleys because Dumbledore had put this ancient magic on that like Voldemort could not come by him and hurt him when he was in the care of his relatives. And I just found that so funny, because if you think about it, yes, Hogwarts is quote-unquote safe, but a lot of things have happened to him. But the thing is, if he just stayed with the Dursleys the whole time, he would be safe. Like, because Voldemort and them like can't touch him there. And I find that so funny. Like, so like, it's so sad, but like kind of funny. If Harry just like didn't go to Hogwarts and didn't go anywhere else and just lived with the Dursleys, he would be safe. But at the same time, he would never do that, because like his life is so miserable there. He'd prefer to risk getting attacked by Voldemort. And so I'm just like, wow, that sucks. Like, he could be safe his whole life, but he'd have to have like the worst life ever. It's pretty ironic. So I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything else to say, and this video is already gonna be pretty long as it is. Again, I know this was very skewed to, well, this was in the book and this wasn't in the movie, but going into it, knowing what's going on in the movie, obviously the stuff that like clicked in my brain and really stood out to me were the parts that weren't in the movie that were in the book. And again, like I said, a lot of the stuff that I really like, my favorite parts in the book, were a lot of the things that weren't in the movie. So I gave Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire 5 out of 5 stars. I would give it 5 million stars if I could. I just love this book so much. Definitely my favorite in the series so far. We'll see if it still is my favorite after I finish. I think it might be though. I think it might be. I'm so excited to be continuing on with the series. Like, I am so not daunted now that like by the 700 pages, because it literally like flies by, and I just want to like hit myself in the face that I have never read these books sooner, because I'm just like in love with them. They're so good, guys. They're so good. Alright, so that is my review on Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you guys are not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm now gonna go and take back what is rightfully mine, because I don't care what they say. It's mine and I'm keeping it. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye.